You see this stream? It's not what you think it is. It's actually an agent of destruction. It cuts through rock and carves through canyons. It causes erosion.
The Grand Canyon, Niagara Falls, and the South Saskatchewan River are all prime examples of water erosion. In order to help demonstrate to you how water erosion works, we have constructed a stream table. The first formation created by water erosion that we will look at today are canyons. Canyons, like the Grand Canyon, which was carved by the Colorado River, are formed when a river or a stream flow over flat land and pick up rock fragments from underneath. As they cut farther down, the banks will collapse inwards, leaving more of a V shape. After millions and millions of years, you end up with something as spectacular as the Grand Canyon. Already you can see here, barely 20 seconds in, that the water has formed a canyon. You can see the bank collapse here as the water cuts deeper down into the ground. You could see earlier that it was level all the way down this hill. Now, however, water has carved a miniature canyon that is almost 2 feet deep. Are you ready to change your maps? Because in 14,000 years from now, Niagara Falls will be nowhere near where it is today. This is because water erosion pushes waterfalls upstream. This happens because when water hits the base of a waterfall, it forms a plunge pool. As this plunge pool erodes back, you are left with an overhang. This overhang then eventually collapses, moving the waterfall slightly upstream. You can see the water here, forming a plunge pool at the base of the waterfall. The plunge pool has eroded backwards and is creating an overhang. The overhang has collapsed and the waterfall has continued to retreat upstream so far that it has reached the starting point of our river and no longer exists. Another thing about water is that it always takes the easiest path, sometimes causing rivers or streams to curve. These curves are called meanders. A good example of meandering river is the South Saskatchewan River, but it won't always look the way it does today. You see, as water crashes against the outside bank of a meander, it slowly erodes. The rock fragments picked up are then deposited farther downstream on the inside bank of a curve where the water is moving slower. Because of this, the river gradually changes shape, and eventually it will no longer be at all like it was. Here the water is cutting into the bank. You can see a sedimentary deposit here on the inside of the bank where the water is moving very slow. Another formation created by meandering rivers is an oxbow lake. An oxbow lake forms when the bank at the start of a wide meander erodes farther and farther until it connects with the opposite bank. The stream then bypasses the curve, taking the easiest route. As sediments are deposited at the entrances to the former meander, it becomes closed off from the stream. The formation left is called an oxbow lake. Here you can see the forming of an oxbow lake. The water has eroded so far that a new path has been formed. The water will now follow this path as it is the easiest route for it to take. Where the water splits two ways, you can see sediments being deposited at the entrance to the former meander. These sediments will eventually block the entrance and you will be left with an oxbow lake. Well, that concludes our show for today. Thank you for watching.
Oh, I grabbed it. One of those, like...
Having troubles?
Yay. the freaking
Just climb back up.